Welcome to Kicking Glass, the podcast where we get to talk to the champions of Muay Thai and the Muay Thai champions themselves. This is where you get to find out what it takes to stand in the square ring facing an opponent who has dedicated their life to kicking your ass. From the extreme training regimes to dealing with anxiety and the stress that goes hand in hand with fighting. What these women have learned along the way as they tore through some of the stereotypical boundaries that are imposed upon women, and find out what they've learned from their experiences and their hard-won knowledge that might impact upon your life and even improve it. From the International Federation of Muay Thai Associations, I am your host, Sue Glassy, and I am extremely honoured and proud to speak today from her hometown in Stockholm, Sweden, Patricia Axling. Welcome to Kicking Glass.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, and thank you for getting up so early, because it's early in the morning in Sweden right now. Yes.
Yeah, it is. I'm not a morning person, so this is a huge step for me.
Oh, well, you look awesome for the first thing in the morning.
Well, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
will practice.
So I would just like to say a big thank you to our sponsors before we get started. We have got Razor Fight Promotions, who are an international Muay Thai promoter based here in New Zealand. Our promoter, Kevin Dick, he is on the international fight scene and taking it by storm. So if you wish to fight down under in the Oceania region, contact us and we'll put you in connection with Razor Fight Promotions. I would also like to say a big thank you to Low Blow, our manufacturers from Sweden too, of high performance protection wear. I'll tell you a little bit more about them later on, when you can actually win your very own Low Blow high performance groin shield if you rate and review our podcast on Spotify. And of course, they're Swedish, so they've got to be good, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's very good, and I'm going to ask you a little bit more about them later on. And you should know, because you've just recently won the gold medal at the Olympic endorsed European Games in Krakow, Poland, which was the first time that Muay Thai was on an Olympic stage at an international level. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Not only that, though, you have won, and I'm going to have to read this, otherwise I'm going to get it wrong. You've won 7 golds, 1 silver, 3 bronze medals at all IFMA Games. You have competed in every single World Championship since 2016, which was actually the first one in Sweden. So you would have got to compete in your hometown. And you've also been to every single European Championship since 2016, except 2018 you were the manager that year. Is that correct?
It's correct.
That's correct. And you went to the 22 World Combat Games, which I think was in Poland as well.
The World Combat Games?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
No, I've been
where were they?
to the World Games in the States, and also to the of course, the European Games in Poland. Yeah.
Yeah, the European Games in Poland, and the other ones, the World Games were in Birmingham in the USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You have also fought, and I'm a little bit jealous about this one, on the Queen's Cup in Thailand, because it's extremely prestigious to get to fight, and it was always a dream of mine, but women were never allowed to do it back in my day. So, and you won it back in 2019 too. So I've got to ask, what was that like?
Well, it was kind of mixed emotions for me, because I was in Bangkok for the World Championship, but I lost the first fight against a very well-known opponent to me, Maria Klimova from Russia. So I was really upset about the fight because I lost it, and I didn't feel good about my performance. And a few days later, I was asked to participate in that competition instead, because I think there was a fighter from Canada who was supposed to participate, but something happened there, so they asked me to fill in. So I took the fight by a short notice, and it was a great event. So I had like 2 fights within that night.
And within the same night?
Yeah, I actually think I had about 15-20 minutes between fight 1 and fight 2. So it was pretty intense.
That's even more intense than because it was padded. It wouldn't have been padded, would it?
No, it was A class.
Yeah, that's
So
fantastic. And was it a 4-woman or an 8-woman, that one?
it was a 4-woman.
It was a 4-woman. Yeah. And was it a really big cup that you got?
Yeah, but most of from I got the belt, the WMC belt. So it was it was a professional title.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you went over there and you got both, because you were talking about Maria from Russia. So she's kind of like your nemesis on this platform, because you've met her. We were chatting, and I was going through trying to find it all, and you summed it up beautifully when we were chatting, because you have met her 6 times already. You've got 3 wins apiece, so you're pretty much sitting at a draw. Except every time you met her at the World Championships, you met her right at the beginning in the first round, and lost to her, which means you didn't go through to even get a silver or a bronze. But you met her in the European Games, the European Championships. And every time you met her there, you met her at the final, and you bet her and won the gold.
Yeah, that's about it.
So she must be quite a hard opponent. Like you win, she wins, you win, she wins. Do you think you're both getting better, or is it? What's your thoughts?
Well, I think it's two-sided for both Maria and I, because we know that doesn't matter if it was the first time we fight. It was in Paris 2017, and at the latest it was earlier this year. And every time we fight, it's always super close fights. So there's no secret to both of us that it's going to be really tough, because we have the physics, we have the techniques, and we both have great coaches. So it's more about who brings the right mindset into the ring, and that's really, yeah, it's not an easy thing to deal with. But I think that I think that she brings out the best of me, and I sure hope that I bring out the best of her as well.
Yeah, well, you're both two extremely brilliant fighters, and one of also that you fought, and I think it was in Birmingham, but also at the World Championships, you fought Iman Barlow from England, who we've talked to on a podcast, and she said to me, she goes, yeah, and then I fought Patricia Axling again. She is hard. She is tough, and I really wasn't sure if I was going to beat her. So she thought you were one of the most impressive opponents she's had. So that's pretty big.
Well, that makes me very happy. I think that we fought 2 times, and the first fight was, I think it was super great. And the second time was at the World Games in Birmingham. With that fight, I wasn't that satisfied. So it would be great to have like a third fight.
Because then you would be able to find out who once and for all is the winner, right?
Something like that.
Like that. So there was we've just come off the World Combat Games in Saudi Arabia, and your name was definitely on the list to go there, but you weren't there. What happened there? Can you tell us what?
Yeah, I've been struggling with an injury with my hip flexor, so I kind of overstretched it in the beginning of the fall. So I have not been able to do any training, like proper training, and I actually spent several weeks at full rest. So and done several treatments as well, and now it's slowly getting better. But I said to myself that I cannot go to the combat games if I'm not at my best, because the fighters over there are so great. So I will let myself down if I haven't done everything that I could have until I step into the ring.
Yeah, I agree. You can't step into the ring and already have excuses, can you? You have to be going in there 100%, especially at that level.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you watch any of them? Did you see any of the fights from your division?
Yeah, I did. I think that every fight wasn't streamed, but I watched some of them. I watched like the second fight between Bryony and Maria, and also watched the fight between Maria and the fighter from Thailand. So And also, besides my weight division, I watched some of the girls in 60 and 63 and a half. Sui, are you with me? I think that that Sui is the sound and the video it froze, but in between, maybe I can tell you something about myself. I've been doing martial arts for 20 to 25 years, and I started with karate as a light contact sport, and after the age of 20, I went into classic boxing. And in the beginning, it was just for fun. I did it for a few years, and later on, I decided I wanted to compete as well. And for the last 10 years, I've been doing Muay Thai, and I think this is the best martial arts of all of them.
That's fantastic. I'm back. I missed half of that because I lost my stream.
Yeah, no worries.
What were you saying? So I can catch up to where I am.
Yeah, of course. I was just talking about a bit about myself, that I've been doing martial arts for 20 to 25 years, and I've done karate and classic boxing, and now Muay Thai. So I was talking about that.
Which one's your favorite?
Muay Thai, of course. I think I really enjoy that you can use like your fist and your kicks and your knees and elbows, and of course I like the clinching part.
I like the way you get to move in Muay Thai. Like it has that kind of dancey sort of quality to it that the other arts don't seem to have quite the same.
Yeah, and I think the best part, it's really complex because you have to you have to have knowledge about every movement. You have to be good at everything you do. You can't not just focus on like boxing or clinching. You have to like to know your kicks and yeah, the knees and elbows as well. So it's really complex.
It is. You've got to be able to weave them all in together, don't you? And you've got to be able to kind of throw anything from anywhere at any time. So your balance has got to be extremely perfect the whole time.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the best part with this game, because every opponent have their own style, and that's the beauty of it. But due to that, you have to have like a very very flexible mindset to be able to adjust during the fight, and that's a part that I really enjoy.
And that's where tournament style fighting makes quite a big difference to the just a single one-off title fight. Yeah.
Mhm.
How do you go from, like I was talking to Rebecca Hoddle who lost so badly in her first fight at the Combat Games and then came back so brilliantly in her final, and
Mm.
she really had like one day in between. But you were saying like even in the Queen's Cup you had 15 minutes in between. So what do you do? Like what what do you do to be able to change your mindset to work? Have you got some tools? Have you got some tricks? How do you deal with it?
Well, I think one of the thing is that I'm really good at adjusting myself, like both emotionally and physically. So it's like I'm good at readjusting whatever have to be fixed. And I think the more pressure, the more intense, and the more weigh-ins that you have to do, it's like it triggers me to do even better. So I was actually really disappointed about, because at the Combat Games they had like a new format for fighting, uh,
Yes,
and I was really really jealous because I think it would have suited me very well, yes, for these reasons.
because you've also like you've probably won. There wouldn't be that many women now that have fought as many championships as you have. So you've got a lot of experience and been able to change from one opponent one day to another opponent the next day. And
Yes.
I thought that the new format, I wasn't sure whether I was going to like it. Like, I liked the idea about it, but I wasn't sure. But watching it, I really enjoyed it. I think it's going to be quite a good thing.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's also, I think it's every fight is like a new competition. So you have to be, as a fighter, you have to be able to, after the fight, feel good about yourself for a few minutes and celebrate it, of course. But then, like after an hour, you have to like move on. You can't get stuck into the feeling. You have to prepare for the next fight, the upcoming fight. So I think as a fighter, you have to prepare for this as well before getting into that kind of format.
Hassan from Turkey is just saying hello to the president
Well,
from Turkey.
hello, Turkey.
Hey, do you think that having the experience of changing that mindset, and having to do it so often and under such extreme pressure and stress, do you think that changes or rolls over into your life outside of the ring?
Well, I think the reason why I do Muay Thai or martial arts, it's because uh, it pushes me in ways that I haven't thought was possible, both physical physically, but mentally as well. And everything that I learn inside of the sports, I bring into my everyday life as well.
It makes a huge difference, I think, because I guess when you know you can overcome something so difficult, then I don't know if anything ever is quite that difficult in life, is it?
I think it depends on what kind of life you're living, actually. But
That's true.
but for sure, there's many things that I've learned in inside the ring and outside the ring that I can use in my everyday life, and that I will cherish forever.
It teaches you so much, I think, Muay Thai. What would you say, maybe not just in Muay Thai, maybe inside or outside of the ring, is your biggest success? What would you see as your biggest success?
My biggest success, well, uh, I would probably say my first gold medal at IFMA World Championship back in 2016. Because for me, um, well, uh, first and foremost, I had only been doing Thai boxing for like 2 years at that moment. Well,
Wow.
as I said before, I've been doing martial arts before, but not Thai boxing. So as soon as I got into the sport, I felt that this is something that I really want to do, and I also felt that I had like the team around me to do this. I had a really good coach, and I had awesome teammates, and I had clear like goals in my mind. So it was easy for me to do all of the training because I have always loved to train hard. So I think after a year, I won the first Swedish championship by knockout in the fourth round, and then I was picked to the national team to represent Sweden. And so me and my coach, we sat down and we asked each other, okay, so um, what is possible for me to achieve attending this world championship? So we thought that maybe winning a bronze medal it's doable, but it ended up with a gold medal, so it was even better.
It's much better.
Yeah.
So, Sweden is amazing in the way that it's one of the foremost countries in the world that support women, um, in all its endeavors, and in sporting, particularly in the Muay Thai. Sweden always brings strong female fighters. If you're paired up against Sweden, it's not going to be an easy run. Uh, what do you think? What do you think Sweden does that creates this niche for women to do so well?
Well, for me, I had the opportunity to train side by side by Sofia Olofsson for many years, and since I was a beginner. So uh, she she taught me so many things, and having her as like a sparring partner and as a clinching partner, it developed me really, really, really fast. And always knew that uh, training with Sophia will probably be so much harder than stepping into the ring.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, so that's a really good foundation.
So do you think it's important to have, when I was talking to Rebecca, she was talking about female role models in the gym.
Mm.
So how important do you think it is for like, obviously for you, Sophia, when you got there, but obviously for many other people now, if they get to train with you, it would be such an amazing, they'd be so grateful for being able to train with you. What do you think is important for women to do as a role model in Muay Thai?
Sorry, come again. What was the question?
So for women as a role model in Muay Thai, like in the Muay Thai gym,
Mm.
what do you think it is important for women to show for the new woman coming through? What can they do to help?
Mm, I think well, if I look at myself and my role at the gym, when there's a new fighter there, I I want them to feel very welcome because I think the sport is for everyone. Doesn't matter if you want to compete or if you just want to just practice. So I want them to feel welcome, and but also I love to give advices to people if they want them. So I think that don't hold like all the knowledge inside of you. Share them with people. Make other people develop themselves and be the best version of themselves that they ever can be.
That's brilliant advice. And definitely if I was stepping into a gym, I would want that for myself as well, for someone to share their knowledge with me. I think, and I don't, what is it like? It's been a long time since I've stepped into another gym, but what do you think men do this as well as women, or do you think women are particularly good at sharing knowledge with other women?
Uh, well, I I don't really know about that. So I think you have to invite a male athlete and ask the same question.
And to ask them, is your gyms over there about the same amount of men and female training together, or?
I think at the moment, yes, but in the beginning there was mostly female fighters competing. So besides Sofia Olofsson, I always train side by side with Camilla Donaldson, and she's fighting in minus 45 kilograms. So she's very close to me, and
So
yeah,
you've had a lot of really good females to train with, because
yeah,
they're all amazing athletes.
yeah.
What what would you say is what would you say new Muay Thai does so well to empower women? Why do you think it makes women feel more confident and stronger in themselves?
For me, it's definitely the mix between all the hard training that makes your body really strong, but also the mind as well. So I feel good about myself when doing this, and I think that I wear this like in my everyday life as well. So what I do in training, it reflects in my personal life as well, and it empowers me.
So the stronger you get in Muay Thai, the stronger you get in your everyday life.
Yeah, that's the feeling.
I would understand and agree with that. To get to the top, like you cannot get there alone. Like you've got your gym training partners,
Mhm.
Sophia, Camilla. Then you must also have other people that support you. Do you have like friends that have supported you along the way, family?
Yeah, I think during my career so far, I always have very, very good support. Of course, there's my family, my mom and my two sisters, and also my auntie. And I have many friends that support me, and a handful of really, really close friends that are probably my closest supporters, biggest supporters, alongside with my family, and of course, my head coach as well.
And your friends, what did they think about you jumping in a ring and fighting? Were they surprised when you did this?
Maybe not surprised because they know I'm very energetic, and but I think it's pretty mixed. Some of them like it a lot, and some of them think it's scary, but they support me anyways because they know that this is what I want to do. So yeah.
That's so good. It's good to have people that support you, isn't it? Like it makes a huge difference. I'm just going to ask you about, because you are Swedish and because Low Blow are sponsoring our podcast.
Mhm.
You said when we were chatting earlier that you've been wearing their groin protection for 8 years. So
Yeah,
you're
it's
probably one of the first out of all of us that started wearing them. Can you tell us what you think of them?
yeah, I think they are the best thing about it is that you don't, when you wear it, you don't feel it at all, and that's the most important part actually. The one I was wearing before I got my first low blow, it was really, really thick, and the shape of it was super strange. It was so long, so it didn't fit my body that good. But low blow has always been good.
I think it's incredible, and that probably Swedish is so well known for being innovative and creating things that aren't there. So I think it's pretty amazing that they've come up with something that is specifically for women because, like you say, the old ones are pretty awful. They feel pretty yucky.
Yeah, it is. I think that low blow for the next project, they should make a protection for the breast that is really good as well, because that is something that we do not have in the market.
That's a really good idea. I'm going to reach out to
Yes.
them for that, and I'll tell them that you've said so, and
Yes,
maybe they can use you as their trial. You can practice with them and see if they're good or not.
of
Soon
course.
as
Yes, reach out.
I'll reach out to them. They are also, I'm just going to do a little plug for them right now. So it's a bit of an advert. So I'm just going to say that how lucky we are to have them sponsoring us. This podcast will go up on Spotify. And then if people would like to rate it and share it, then they will go in the draw to win their very own low blow performance protection groin guard and also a mouthpiece. The mouthpiece is an incredible new one. I've tried it myself and it is better than my dentist form fitted one. And I think it is absolutely brilliant. So please, please, please go on, review and rate us on Spotify and go in to win yourself. They also do male groin guards and male protection wear. So if you put in kicking glass, you will get a 15% discount. Do not put in the hashtag, just put in kicking glass and you'll get a 15% discount. So I'd just like to say a big thank you to the Swedish company Low Blow for doing that for us women all over the world. I would like, what do some of the things Patricia does for fun out of the ring and in her spare time for your hobbies?
Well, I do a lot of reading. I like reading books, and I do a
What
lot
kind
of
of books?
what kind of books? Well, I think um, hmm, I like um, what do you call it? Biography.
Yeah,
Biography.
biographies about
Yeah,
people's lives.
yeah, about people's life, and it can be all kind of people. But I like, of course, people who've been athletes, but also politicians and yeah, other famous people. And I also like some science fiction, and some scary books as well. So I think I read about everything.
Have you got a favorite?
Favorite. Hmm, I don't know which one to pick at the moment. Sorry.
Too many. There's too many to choose from.
Yeah,
What
it is.
what other things do you do for fun?
I like playing video games, and I like being out in the nature, walking around, and just yeah, I don't know, doing normal stuff, having coffee, going to the movies, and
Have you got a favorite movie or a favorite video game?
maybe Pursuit of Happiness. I think it's called in English.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I love
that's a
that
good one.
movie.
Yeah, and of course, The Fighter. It's a good as well. It's a good one as well.
And Sham from Mauritius is saying hello. So hello back to Sham, and thank you, Jack, for those questions. Tell us a little bit about yourself as well, about your family, about where you live, how many hours do you train? Who
And
is Patricia Axling?
who am I? That's a really, really deep question. Well, I'm living in Stockholm. That's the capital of Sweden. I'm 35 at the moment, turning 36 in December, and right now I'm studying at university, and I'm actually graduating in January. So I'm becoming a teacher.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And when it comes to
Teaching,
training,
are you what teacher of what?
physical education and social studies.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I think so too. It's the best subject, so I choose them wisely.
Well done.
But besides that, when it comes to training, I think I do maybe like 4 hours a day, and it's divided into 2 sessions, like one during maybe at before lunch, and then I have like a late session as well. So two times a day, like six days a week.
And 1 day's rest.
Yeah, 1 day rest. Yeah.
Do you mix it up with sparring and pad work and strength work or?
Yeah, I do. It's like Monday and Tuesday it's pads, and Wednesday is clinching, and Thursday is sparring, and Saturday is sparring as well. And I usually have Friday or Sunday as rest, and besides that, there's probably like two more sessions with pads, and then of course running, and also lifting weights as well.
And what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I do have. I think it's the sparring part, because that's the one that feels like competing.
It is. That's always been my favorite, but you always get told you can't spar unless you've done the hard work first. Is that the same for you?
Well, I think that I always do the hard part, so I can always do the sparring.
There you go, easy as. Do you have any advice for our listeners in the world of Muay Thai, and also maybe anything that you've learned about life that you think is some good ideas to share with people?
I think that you have to be true to yourself. You should ask if you should ask yourself one question. You should ask yourself, why are you doing this? Why are you doing Muay Thai, and what is your reason? Because if you don't know what is your why, I think will be very hard for you to do something when you cannot rely on motivation. I think motivation, it's really, really nice when you feel it, and when you do, you should embrace it. But you don't always feel motivated. It's not possible to do that not like 2 times a day, like for 10 years. It's impossible. So I think motivation is reliable, unreliable. So instead, I think that you should rely on your own discipline to get up in the morning and do the things that have to be done so you can be the best version of yourself. And during that time, it's really, really important to know your why. So figure it out.
That's brilliant. I was listening to another podcast a while ago, and this was also what they said. If you don't know your why, then you won't get anywhere.
Hmm.
So they must have been listening to you. I just want to ask a couple things before we head off. One thing I would want to know about is, what would you say is your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
Right. So something about my biggest learning points, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hmm.
Yes.
This one is it's hard because it's so many of them. But I think I think that one of them, maybe losing the world championship in 2018, that was brutal. I know what losing does to you. So some background story to this.
It was
I
very
won,
unexpected.
yeah, I won the world championship during 2016 and during 2017 as well. And during 2017, I was awarded the best female fighter as well. So coming into 2018, I felt a lot of pressure on my shoulders, and I also had like a film crew from Canada flying over to Mexico, and they were following me around and shooting for. They were producing materials to a TV show called like The Unknown World Champion, so they were doing like a documentary of me. So I was by in the first round, and in the first fight, and in the second fight I fought against Becca Rooney from Australia, and in my third fight I fought Micheletto from Italy, and I lost by knockout in the second round. So I think I was perhaps, it felt like I was like upset of the year because of that. And uh,
I think it surprised everyone, because I remember standing there watching that, and like I always kind of like do my own little who I think's going to win each one, because that's what you can do when you're not in the ring anymore.
mhm,
And I kind of looked at who was in your pool, and I just thought, it's really a gimme. I
mhm.
just didn't think there was any way you would not win it. It was totally unexpected. So it must have been totally unexpected for you too.
Yeah, it was. And in the first round in that fight, I won it. And for the second round, my coaches told me to like level up, do something more, even though I won the first round. So that's what I did, and I think it went pretty good until it did not.
That's true.
So she threw a spinning elbow at me, and I did not see it coming at all. So it was total black for me. So uh, for me, this was like it was brutal in a way that you can't really imagine if you haven't been there. And it was also the first time for me losing a fight international as well. So and I did it like, for me it felt like the whole world was watching, and in under the spotlight there was I falling asleep during a fight. So so it was not so easy to cope with. So I think losing taught me many things, and it challenged me to ask myself important questions about fears and desires, and how to continue to develop as a fighter at the same time, and not being afraid to adjust what have to be adjusted. And and there is um, um, why I think the why is so important. And the path was very long and very painful, and it actually, I would say, they took me a few years to manage to build myself up, and I think in the end, most and foremost, I figured out how to fight as the favorite or the ex-favorite, and this was very important to me, because for me, only winning again, I could prove that the first and the second medal wasn't just like a fluke. So it was something that I could do again. That I figured out, I got this. I know how to do. So winning a gold medal again in 2022, it was really, yeah, it was a important moment for me.
I can understand that. You definitely were never someone that looked like it was a fluke that you won your gold medals, because you definitely are a champion and a champion fighter. But I must ask, it must have been so hard for you, because it was just, it was, the spotlight was on you, like the camera crew was there, everyone was following you and watching you because you were like our next superstar, and then suddenly it was over. What did you tell, how how do you speak to yourself to take yourself out of the emptiness you end up being in?
Well, I think uh, it's it's one thing being in the competition and being like in a bubble, like okay, I'm with the other fighters and coaches, and they know the fighting life. But I think the hard part was actually when I came back home and when I was like alone in my apartment with no spotlights on me, and uh, it felt like I had no one to talk to. I did, but at the same time, I felt really, really alone. But I think, again, this is where I kind of relied on my disciplines. So even though I didn't want to, I got up in the morning and I started doing my thing slowly, and slowly got back to training as well. So again, the discipline and the question about why.
That why really seems to be extremely important, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, I think many fighters get to that point, don't they, in their life, where they just got to sit there and they got to look at themselves and think, is this really what I want to do? Why am I doing this?
Mm, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you had your why, and I'm glad you're still with us fighting today, because you're definitely an incredible inspiration to a huge number of women around the world, of all ages. Even the old retired ones, we still look at you and are inspired by you. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you so much. It makes my heart very warm. So thank you.
You're welcome. And have you got anyone you'd like to say hello to? Is there any way, how do people follow you? And have you got another fight coming up at all in the future?
Uh, at the moment, no fight coming up for me. So I see what will happen during 2024. But if you like to follow me, go to Instagram and you find me under the name of Paxling. So P for Patricia and Axling, that's my last name. Uh, so follow me. And well, I can take this moment just to say that I've been during all of these years, I've been reading every comment that you send to me, and I love when I meet people, fighters, people who just practice the sport, that comes up to me and talk to me, and that gives me so much energy. So keep doing that.
That's wonderful, because I think that's what all the young girls, boys, and men around the world want to be able to do, is just to talk to the people they see doing what they want to be able to do. And it's nice that you actually enjoy that too. So on the screen, we can see at Paxline, which is where we will find you on Instagram. And I hope your injury rehabs really well, and that we get to see you back in the ring again. A quick thank you to our sponsors before we go. So that's Low Blow Performance Protection from Sweden. Thank you to them. They are amazing in what they do for us women and for everyone else, I suppose, out there. And thank you to Razor Productions. But most of all, Thank you to you, Patricia, and thank you for sharing with us your journey today.
Thank you so much.
Good work.